How you doing, everybody? It's March the 18th 2010. I didn't make a video posting yesterday, which was St. Patrick's Day, family commitments and all that. Okay, it's just a thing that goes way back with me. In the 80s I used to make my living in America. I had to leave Ireland because I couldn't get work, and I lived in a flat in St. Stephen's Green, and I used to always try and get home for St. Patrick's Day, because to me it was sort of the first sort of really proper opening, as it were, an official sort of Shakespearean opening for spring. And I always tried to get home. Sometimes I was successful, and other times I wasn't. But when I got home, I always had a big crowd of people in, about 20 or 30 people in for breakfast. And we'd open up all the windows in the little flat, and we'd look out and let the parade get by and have a few drinks and enjoy ourselves. I don't do that anymore, because obviously I don't live in St. Stephen's Green, but I live out in the country. But we have a big get together anyway, and just talk a lot of bullshit, really, just social nonsense. But it's interesting, it gives you an insight into other people's problems and whatever. So that's what I was doing yesterday. I hope everybody had a nice day. It was a glorious day, beautiful day. Hope everybody had a nice time. I put that little link, as you can see, that little connection up there to Upton Sinclair, because one of the great sort of 30s, 40s, 50s heroes of mine, and he's a wonderful writer and a wonderful gives you a wonderful insight into American life after the Great Depression. So I just thought I would put it up for Cardinal Sean Brady, because that's all I'm not going to say any more about the issue, but it encapsulates what I think about the whole thing. How these men can be just bought. Anyway, I want to deal about three things tonight. It's 7:30, by the way, in the evening. I want to deal with three things. They're all to do with economics. And the first thing is, I was reading yesterday morning a Herald Tribune article by Paul KRUGMAN. Now, KRUGMAN is one of the most influential figures in today's world. I didn't know a lot about him, but they reckon he's in one of the top 100 intellectuals in the world. It probably wouldn't be too hard, because there are not too many of them around. But anyway, it says here that he's done more than 25 books and 40 scholarly articles and 750 columns in the New York Times. He's obviously an ongoing writer for the New York Times. Probably this article is borrowed from the Herald Tribune. I think they're owned by the New York Times. But it says here his book, a standard book, The International Economics Theory and Policy, is one of the key college textbooks on international economics. He's a senior economics professor at Princeton, so he's an Ivy Leaguer. He probably views himself as some sort of liberal or something. I don't know how he views himself, but he's an Ivy Leaguer. He works for the elite and the good and the mighty, and that's the bottom line about him. But he wrote a powerful article, and the article was something that I could not understand, how America had not embraced this idea before now. And he's putting it out. And the idea is a sort of a pseudo-protectionist policy. And what it is there is a surcharge on imports from China. That's what it's about. And have a look at this. It's down there, wherever they do the links now. It's down there somewhere, okay? I've put these couple of links, and you have we read it. Fascinating article. And I just want you to have a look at something. I'm going to put it up for you now. And what it is, it's a wee chart, and I just got it from the internet. And it basically talks about world GDP, and you can see the countries that make up world GDP. And obviously the big power block is Europe at the minute. It even has a bigger, as a compendium, has a greater GDP figure than the United States. But you can see where the United States is. By the way, they're in millions. That's in millions of dollars. Okay, so you can see where the United States is. It's between 14 and 15 trillion dollars. Okay, and I can understand them doing. I mean, they're by far the biggest power block. I mean, a cohesive power block in the world. And I can understand them doing that. So you can see their relationship with China. China is the young emerging one. Can you see that? But still at a much reduced level in the United States. And I can see them doing that. have a read of this article by KRUGMAN, because I think they're going to try this. I think they're going to have to try something like this, or they're going to have to try something like a G20 meeting or a G28 or whatever it's going to be called, and they all bring down, they all do an instant devaluation, like an over a weekend devaluation of all their currencies. It has to be something like that. They're going to have to. They cannot let this situation go on and on and on, because if they do, it's a recipe for disaster for all of them. So they're going to have to try something, and it's going to have to be done this year. They can't let this run on and on and on. So have a read of his article. The next thing I want to talk about is I want to go on to where is this thing? Sorry, excuse me. I want to go on to oh yeah, it's a scan, and it's from a lady called Ellen SYNON, Mary Ellen SYNON. That's her there. See that there? Okay. So what I've done is I've put it up. I hope you can read the top of it there. Just tells you why Ireland could soon be forced out of the Eurozone. Okay, and I'm going to put it up now for you. Well, if you have a look at it there, you can see it. I've scanned it. You can stop and have a wee read of it. All right. And basically what it's about is it's about the introduction of a two-tier type Europe in a real economic sense. In other words, there'll be a political union, but at an economic level, it'll be two-tier, and there'll be a key Euro, France, Germany, all those type of people, and then there'll be the pigs down at the bottom, us included. So it'll be Portugal, Italy, Ireland, Greece, and Spain, and we won't be part of them from an economic point of view. We'll have our own currencies, and I would not see the eye to eye with this woman. It's a very right-wing woman, but on this one, there's a lot of merit. I think there's a lot of merit, and puts us in a much better, much healthier situation, I think, than we are at the moment. From a lot of points of view, certainly from our sovereignty point of view. So whether or not it happens, it doesn't matter. Just read about it, because this has been speculated all throughout the English newspapers, all through the Financial Times and the Daily Telegraph and various, and she's brought a lot of the articles together and written up this article, and I think her article reads a lot easier. It's just fairly easy to read, and it reads a lot easier, so I think it gives you a good insight into that. And then the final thing that I want to talk about is, and I've put the link up to it, it's from the Sunday Business Post, and I want to thank one of the commentators, one of the people who leaves the comments, a chap called John Hazard. And John left me a very, very nice note and referred me to this, and I didn't see it, but I read it yesterday, and I have to say it's a lovely article. It's a very fine article. As I say, initially I didn't particularly like Mike Williams, but I've come to like him more and more. I think he was one of the few that did actually point us out. He was one of the few, because he's a private economist. I mean, he's a fully qualified economist. That I don't know where he got his degree or anything, but he got it here in Ireland, I think. But he's written several books on the subject, and he's not involved in politics or anything else, so he's no flag waving, and he's off a very simple hymn sheet. I'd say not a big earner or anything like that. Yeah, but he says it like it is. And this is just about what has happened, how the debt belonging to the good and the mighty has been transferred to us, the ordinary Joes, the people, the citizens. So we're picking up their greed. That's essentially what he says. But the way that's written and the context, I don't want to spoil the thing. I'll just say, look, if you've got 2 minutes, 3 minutes, read this article. I think it's a lovely article to read, and it's very eloquently written, and all part of the man for writing it. He didn't need to write it that way, and he sort of exposed himself a little bit, but all put to me, he jumps up a couple of steps in my estimation of him as a result of it. And I think it augurs reading, and it augurs sort of cogitation, definitely. So listen, we're going to talk more, okay? And I'll leave you with that Upton Sinclair piece up on the screen. All right, bye. We'll talk more. Bye bye.